When I saw Ruby and we made eye contact, and the subsequent like 4 days, completely different experience.
Like a soul thing?
Yeah. It threw me. I was so completely thrown by what I was experiencing because it felt so familiar. And I said to her, I feel like we've known each other forever. Like I feel a soul connection here, and that's scarier to me, actually.
To have her be into it?
No, to have that soul connection feeling.
Oh yeah. Why? Why is that scary? What does it mean?
Because I don't want that.
Like you don't want someone in your, like you don't want to...
Yeah, the idea
you want to stay single.
Like yeah, exactly. Like the idea of going into a relationship of some kind is
I just got out of one!
I got out of 9.5-year relationship for 2 months. There's really no part of me that wants to be in another relationship right now. You're going through a breakup, you meet a new woman. Can you talk to your ex about the new woman? Can you have communication about your feelings for the new woman without your ex biting your head off? Could she or he talk to you about someone they just met without you going into overwhelm and trigger and sadness or anger? Could you do that? You see, I just got back from Burning Man, where for the first time in 10 years, I connected with a woman who is not my ex-girlfriend. And 2 days after meeting this woman and kissing her, I am hanging out with her, myself, and Azria all at the same time. And this vlog today is a little bit different because during this conscious uncoupling process, what I've learned is most important is how Azria and I are able to communicate with each other. Can we discuss our healing process together as friends instead of going into emotional overwhelm and taking things personally? And so what I want to do today is just take you through the types of conversations that Azria and I are having, like this one, discussing our experience at Burning Man. Today has been emotional. Today's been emotional, as you can see on Azria's face especially. Does that cover it?
Doesn't even begin to cover it. I feel like there's so many deeper layers that were excavated at Burning Man, just in terms of understanding ourselves, you know, and understanding the mechanics of this relationship and the roles that we've played for each other. And you met someone. It's a big part of the story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, meeting someone in the way that I did, I was in the middle of a conversation. I was talking to my friend Ro, and I look over and I see someone dancing on stage, and we make eye contact, and I turn to Ro and I go, in the middle of this conversation, hold on, I'm gonna go dance with this girl. And it wasn't even a choice so much as felt like instructions, as it often does. So I'm stoked. I've allowed myself to connect with a woman that is not my ex-girlfriend for the first time in 10 years. I've taken this emotional step in opening my heart to someone new, and it felt good. It felt so good. And I was starting to wonder, do I tell Azria about this? Is this something that I should go out of my way to talk to her about? And I made the decision, no, I will not do that, but I won't hide it from her. So when the time comes, I'll be sure to mention it. And I am getting ready now. I'm at my RV, getting ready to go see this performance, this Lucien Dossier Cirque du Soleil-like performance in this amazing pyramid at Burning Man that this woman that I've connected with is performing in. When I get a knock at my RV door, and who is standing there? Azria, who has heard about this show and wants to come and see if I'd like to go to it. And so the universe has made sure that we get to have the conversation now. On the way to the show, I speak to her and say, hey, I just think it's important for you to know that we're about to go see this show, which this woman is in, who I met last night or 2 nights ago. I'm not sure at that point. And
before we know it, I'm in the show. So I meet this girl, and she's
that
like,
was
do you want to
profound.
be in the show? I'm like, yeah, I'll be in the show. So before I know it, I'm in the costume tent and being dressed, and I'm like now officially a part of the show.
And so
It's just
I
hilarious.
literally, at some point, I'm watching the show, and both her, Azria, and this woman are both on stage at the exact same time, on the same stage. And I'm just looking at the two of them, and I can't help but be just, it's so ridiculous.
And beautiful.
It's so ridiculous and beautiful. And seeing the two of them, you know, when I got to camp, she comes up to me and she hugs me, and Azria sees it and comes over and she goes, yeah, so this is her. It's nice to meet you. And they hug for a long time. And
she's beautiful. She's really beautiful.
she's awesome.
So I'm not,
Awesome.
I don't feel emotional about that. I don't feel emotional about.
Well, it was weird. It was weird the next night when we all, or was it that night when we went out dancing after the show, where you asked me, so am I still allowed to kiss you? Yeah, so that happened. I am on the dance floor with the woman that I've just connected with when Azria walks up to me and asks if it's still okay for her to kiss me and be intimate. What would you do? What would you say in this moment where all I want is to have fun and not hurt anyone's feelings, and I don't know what to do or navigate? So I say, why don't the two of you figure that out?
This is not a situation that most people find themselves in. So we had a good sit down. We chatted about it, her and I, and just.
They leave the dance floor and go off for 20 minutes to go and talk while the rest of us are on the dance floor, and I'm sitting there, okay. So the two of them now are talking about, because you asked me that question, I said, honestly, I feel that's not even just my decision, that's up to this new energy, and how would she feel about it, and discuss it with her. And so you did, you straight up asked her.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. I wonder how many people watching this right now, you asked.
What did she say?
She was super cool. I mean, ultimately, we both, we don't know what the we're doing. We're navigating, and we're just created an agreement to stay in our heart and be super respectful towards each other and have open communication. And the moment something occurs that doesn't feel good, that we have the ability to call it out and speak to each other about it and just be in the dialogue.
And I don't know how much of that is a trap. You know what I mean?
What do you mean by trap? I'm curious about that.
Well, she said to me afterwards, after speaking to you, she said, I trust your intuition. And if your intuition feels like being intimate with Azria is what's right for you, then I trust that. And I don't have any desire to put like restrictions on you and what you and what feels right for you. And that is beautiful and beautifully said, and I think there's a lot of truth to that. And there was a part of me that felt, is that true? Or would this person much prefer me not say, yeah, I'm still gonna hook up with my ex? Is it a trap? I have seriously been thinking about that ever since. Can someone possibly believe that? Because I'm coming from a past of being cheated on and wounding and insecurity and jealousy and doubt. And so it's hard for me sometimes to understand people who are genuinely not triggered by that. And so I had doubts about whether that was honest or whether there was a secret desire to hear, no, you are the only one that I want to connect with at all. And no one else even comes into my field. You are all I can see. Like, maybe that's what everyone wants to hear. I don't know. I want to hear from you though, because I think this is something we can all relate to, and I want to know if you think it's a trap or if there's something you would specifically want to hear in that situation. For me, all I could do was try and empathize and put myself in her shoes and think, how would I feel in this situation? And it turns out I'm also in that situation. And she has an ex, by the way, that it's a similar situation. So I can't say that it feels great being like, oh yeah, totally, go hook up with your ex, right? Like that doesn't feel great. But I also agree that it doesn't make sense to we're in the exploration of what it means to not put these restrictions. And people watching this should know, like, we haven't been sexually intimate in over a month. And
Such a bummer.
That was a big part of what was released. That was a big part
morning,
of what was released this morning because
there was just clarity around, like, if we were to be intimate in a sexual way, what is the real intention underneath that at this point? And I think the sadness, the clarity, the processing that came today was understanding the intention and, you know, choosing to honor that. If the intention is not in full integrity, then it's not the right decision at this point in the process.
So that was my Burning Man. That was my Burning Man. I had the most intense ceremony. It was beautiful and it was emotional, and it was a major milestone in this uncoupling process because I allowed myself to step into intimacy with someone new for the first time in nearly a decade, and to communicate that process with Azria, which was a deep level of intimacy with her in a completely different way that I didn't know I was capable of. As someone who used to shut down and not discuss anything that created any triggers in me, I didn't know I could do this. I didn't know I could have the types of conversations that you saw in this video. And I'm curious how many of you feel like you could. Could you discuss this sensitive topic with your ex? Could you have an uncoupling process that allows for even deeper levels of intimacy with the person you're uncoupling from through empowered, loving conversation? Because at the end of the day, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just choosing love in each and every moment as best I can. And as a result, I'm learning. And I am having the best time seeing the lessons that are unfolding.
I think for me, the biggest thing I'm walking away with right now is just the clarity that this is the right decision. For right now, this is the right call. And that I can love this man so deeply and so unconditionally without needing to control him, without needing to have him. I can still love him. The two aren't mutually exclusive. And I think on some level before that, I didn't know if that was possible to have both.
As hard as it is, letting go, like completely letting go, like truly, fully continuing this process, which we've already been doing. I just didn't realize how much deeper it was. Like, how many layers of release are there? How much untethering is there? How do I go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into that process? I don't know. It just keeps going. And so the biggest act of love that I have to give right now is to untether further. I think ultimately at the end of the day, what makes this a conscious uncoupling is our willingness to not take it personally, not take your healing process personally, and vice versa, and communicate through it.
I love you forever and ever and ever and always.
I love you too. I love you too. And I always will. Thank you so much for watching this and taking the time out of your day to commit to the art of choosing love. And it is my hope that by showing you my heart, showing you the vulnerable, authentic, real sides of what I'm going through in my life, it will inspire you to share more of your heart and your authenticity and your unique voice with the world. And we want this to be a growing tribe. And in order for that to happen, we want you. So please subscribe, share this with your loved ones, engage in the comments with others who are on the same journey as you of using love as the compass. You are always, in all ways, seen, heard, and loved.